Cool. Hey, hello, welcome everybody to the Sheep Seats. I am Matthew, aka Sheep, aka Dark Sheep. That did not go as planned. Welcome to my guest right away. Welcome to my dining room, like I like to invite everybody. Hope, welcome. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good, Matt. How are you? I'm excited to be here.
I'm excellent. I beat my wife at cribbage this evening,
Okay.
so I've got a winning attitude going on.
I love it. Yeah, no, this is gonna be fun. Excited to talk some football with you. I know it's not what you usually talk about on your show, so this is gonna be fun.
Yeah. So I invited you on here as someone who is a little bit more in tune to the NFL landscape. You want to shout out the stuff that you're working on? I know you got a couple of different series and stuff that you're going to do this draft season. Do you want to start by talking about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everyone can follow me on my YouTube. You can just search my name, search Underdog. You'll find me there. Doing a show once a week. Sometimes it's going to be 2 times a week with Davis Pang. We're calling it Road to 150. So we will be there streaming all types of Underdog drafts, maybe some other sites. We'll see. We're pretty loyal to Underdog though. And then I do some solo streams every week as well. Usually kind of like a late night drafts type of thing. So, yeah, check me out over there.
Excellent. Yeah. So let's get into it here. I don't know how fast the Ball Mania is going to fill right now since the puppy just opened. But
11 or the first one's in. Might have to do it.
That's all right. What's up, Nez?
Nez? I bet we get it filled.
Yeah, we
get it quickly.
Yeah, so I have decided that I am offloading most of my NFL thinking this year because I'm not super great at it. I'm offloading all of my NFL I guess just straight up I'm doing Pat Crane's rankings.
Okay. I like that. You have them in there?
I have them loaded up now. So
okay, this will be cool.
He's been updating them like every day. It was sort of a impossible deal to pass up. I think it's still open right now. If you go to legendaryupside.com, you can get like $50 in underdog credit.
Yeah.
And the early bird price was like $69. Nice. And it was harder to pass up. And so if you have tuned into some of my baseball stuff, I talk a lot about using smarter people than yourself to make up for your downfall. So I'm big on using projections in MLB and using the bat in that case for the most part. Uncle Andy's in.
Sweet.
Rand Stan with 7 people. Billy Joe, welcome. So that offer came up and I thought, I'm going to take that idea and move on to football where I know even less about, especially like any of the advanced stuff. I'm pretty uneducated in all of that. Yeah, Drew, we are in a Ball Mania. I noticed my thing says Underdog MLB Best Ball. I forgot to update that, but whatever.
No big deal.
We're just hanging out on Cinco de Mayo, which...
Absolutely. I had some tacos for dinner.
So
had to do it. I think that's smart of you though to do that. To like lean on something like Pat's rankings or much people's content. Like I know some people in the space are adverse, like they don't want to hear, or listen to too much content.
Yeah.
I'm the complete opposite. Like I have my own takes and have my own player takes and things like that. But I think it's only beneficial to listen to people because I have so many different ideas, players that, I might have been thinking about or situations that you can glean from stuff like that. And so, yeah, I think that's super smart to do. And it's something I do for sure.
Do you get into looking at advanced statistics for football at all? Or do you feel like you're more of a gut sort of drafter?
I definitely look at projections, and me and my co-host Davis, he's really big into looking at projections. He actually makes his own,
Okay.
and he's wanting me to do that this year as well, to really kind of like, he's big on contribution weeks as well, and like looking at, what does this player actually give you versus, and it can be really helpful when you do that and you break down like how much you actually expect this offense to pass and things like that. And so, yeah, it's something I use definitely a lot more in DFS because it's weekly, and
Yeah.
obviously the statistics are, real time.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can't play DFS nowadays without projections and ownership.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would probably say I'd lean more towards like the gut takes. But like I said, I listen to so many different smart people and read a lot of different stuff, and so a little bit of both.
Drew also had some tacos, and it makes me wonder what percentage of white Americans had tacos today, or some
A lot.
variation.
That's got to be high. The taco place I went to just opened near me, and it's a popular chain here in Texas, and it was packed. I waited like 40 minutes in the pickup window like line to get tacos at this place. And so yeah, so many people.
Yeah. Fantasy dysfunctional here. Yeah. He listens to a lot of people and or they listen to a lot of people, get a better feel of what everybody else is thinking. Yep. Billy Joe agrees. Oh, we are full. Nice.
Tequila.
Yep. I'm having tequila, but that's every night. I did
Love it.
make kind of a homebrew margarita with a little tequila and lime juice, and then tangerine sparkling water.
That sounds good.
So I can't.
I unfortunately am not a tequila person or margarita person. Never been my cup of tea. I don't know. I just
Well,
don't.
that's the problem if you're putting it in with tea.
Well, but no, yeah, it's never been my thing. All right, we got the 9. I like it.
All right. We got
Yep.
BTXJ's in here. Drew's in here. Chuck Savage, Draft Guy, and Billy Joe. I see you here.
Yep.
So nice.
I
Right.
don't think the 9 is that bad this year. Obviously, it feels like the top 3 is a tier again.
Mm-hmm.
To some people, it's the top 5, which was similar to last year, which everyone said that, and then Jonathan Taylor busted, so it can happen. And then Cooper Kupp got injured, which you can't take that away from him. He still had some really good games, but I don't mind the back end of the first round here.
Okay. I don't know. I've done 2 of these so far, I think. Yeah, 2, and I don't even remember at the moment where I was. So that's how much I was paying attention. I think I got AJ Brown in the last one I did. What do you think about something I do a lot in baseball is like this first round guy that I take? I end up stacking a lot of the time. But that's also seems like a very common idea. Do you really think about too much about your first round player in terms of that team for distributing for the whole thing? Obviously, you're putting a lot of thought into your first round position and what you're going to take from there, but do you focus on that for teams?
Yeah, I think it's something that I'm trying to be more cognizant of this year. And I think last year, I forced, and I think everyone does this, whatever your first couple wide receivers are, it seems like that's the QBs you target, right?
Yeah.
And you can really get thrown off if you get sniped, because I know I saw some discussion on Twitter, like some people who started Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and then didn't get Burrow.
Yeah.
Being able to pivot and, not worry about that as much is something I'm trying to do better. Not reaching on QB stacks like that, I think is important.
All right. So the lost Packer fan in me wants to take Devontae here.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not worried about the Jimmy G stuff. It's Devontae Adams. People were saying the same thing last year about him with Carr, not with Rodgers, and he absolutely crushed. I am not worried about him at all.
But yeah, I don't think there's anybody here that I would have disliked to take.
No. Jonathan Taylor, I'm a little bit more weary of with the Anthony Richardson stuff, and just because he's going to rush in some touchdowns, and then you have that offense, you worry about the efficiency it's going to have as well. So I'm a little lower on him. That's actually interesting to see because I draft off ADP exclusively.
Okay.
So seeing Pat's having Eckler so far below Jonathan Taylor is interesting to me.
Okay.
But yes, I need to take note of that and think through that one more.
All right. So what do you think? Give me your educated opinion about a rookie running back in the first round. I don't. It sounds scary to me at first blush, but obviously people are pretty excited about him.
Yeah, so the good thing is running back is the one position I feel like not the one. We've seen rookie wide receiver smash, but it's an easier position to come right in and play well at. We have seen that. Let's see. I mean, I feel like I know I just said bad things about him, but I feel like we got to take Jonathan Taylor because
yeah,
he fell 5 picks past ADP and almost like 8 or 9 picks past where Pat had him. So
yeah,
seems fine.
Yep. Yeah, Devontae's definitely QB proof. I wonder at what age he starts to actually fall off. I don't even know how old he is now, but he seems to be getting.
Is he 30 yet? I'm not sure.
So do you have how much? We got Fantasy Sports Dave here asking about your plans from now until the schedule drops this upcoming week, right?
It does. It's on the 11th. And so I have done 10 BBMs, and I plan to wait now until the schedule is released. I did like 5, right when it dropped, and then I've done a few more on stream, up until now. But yeah, I'm at 10, and I think I'm going to stop there until we get the schedule.
Okay. And then to go along with that, then are you changing your draft thoughts this year with the in-season stuff, or are you still focusing on those playoff week schedules?
It's a tough question. I like to believe that you can middle it. I really do think there's a possible way to do that. I think first and foremost, you should think about the playoff weeks because at the end of the day, that's where, especially in Ball Mania, that's where the $3 million is. The true life-changing money is in that week 17. So I think I'm going to start there with that in mind, and then kind of really focus on my roster allocation or like my draft capital per position. I think something I didn't do such a great job of last year. I did a lot of zero RB and a lot of anchor RB, which I still believe in. But I did those two strategies a little bit too extreme, I would say, last year. I've talked about this a little bit on my channel over there, but I think with my zero RB, I literally treated it as zero RB. Like I just took like 7 guys later on. I didn't even get because I went past, I missed out on like the Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs tier. Like that should have been, I should have had tons of those guys on zero RB teams as like your first one. And instead I pushed it a little bit too far, and I looked back on a lot of my teams and it was just like maybe a starter, maybe, and then like a bunch of handcuffs and backups, and it wasn't well thought out. And so kind of monitoring my roster allocation throughout a draft is really important and something I'm going to do.
Okay. Do you are you taking a look at as you go and saying, okay, I got this many hero RBs, I got this many zero RBs, and saying, okay, I need to, in my next couple of drafts, I'm really under on the amount of hero RBs I want? Or are you just are you not thinking that in depth each time?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I look at it like that. I don't think of it in terms of that, because I go into every draft open to whatever strategy the draft presents.
Okay.
I'm not like a zero RB person, but I'm not anti it either. I'm not, I don't believe there's one strategy and way to win. And I think we've seen that. Last year's regular season champ was a zero RB team. Pat's winning team was dual RB. So excuse me. There's tons of different ways you can do this. The way the first slot is starting, I do a lot less of 3
Yeah.
straight running backs. I've done one this year just because I got in a room where all the wide receivers went, and there was just like no one here I wanted that was better than the running backs. So I did one with like 4, but I did not do this a lot. That would be the one strategy I kind of like steer away from.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like on the end, both ends so far have started 2 and 3 running backs, and Jado there has just took 2 in a row. Is there? Let's take a look here at running back. Do you feel like is there a where's your like a tier break for this upper echelon of running backs, or have we already passed it?
So ETN went a little earlier than he usually does.
Okay.
I think after Derrick Henry, and even him, I'm pretty scared of, but I think he can be fine this year. I think Josh Jacobs is in a good spot again. Not much has changed for him from his situation last year, but I think right after Derrick Henry is the first break for me, and it looks like ADP kind of says that too.
Yeah, there's like a round jump here.
Yeah.
So what did Las Vegas do for running backs? Did they bring in anybody? I'm not sure.
So no, I think they're still running out Zamir White as the backup. It seems they've got Brandon Bolden hanging around, but yeah, it should be the Josh Jacobs show again.
All right.
Who would you go with here?
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of I don't know. This is going to be really hard for me. I'm not my brain, who doesn't know the new hotness, is going to see Derrick Henry here and have a hard time passing up on him. So, it's an interesting decision there with those 2 running backs. Josh Jacobs putting him together with Devontae. I don't think I would care too much about, but that feels kind of like a lot.
It's a big bet on an offense led by Jimmy Garoppolo for sure.
Right. Yeah.
And coached by Josh McDaniels.
Yeah. Billy Joe here is already he already hates Jimmy G. He's a Raiders fan and he's already disappointed. Fair. Yeah, and fantasy dysfunctional here. 3 running back starts feel pretty bad.
I think they are. It's not something I do a lot. The one I did, I ended with 4. I drafted, I think, 9 wide receivers to try and make up for it. But yeah, it's definitely my least favorite team when I look back and look at the ones I've drafted. But yeah, I don't mind the Derrick Henry pick. Like, I mean, it is, probably seeing him at the end of the 3rd round must be kind of weird.
It is. Yeah.
You don't draft a lot of football. It is strange. And like, I think the worry is that offense, I think if Tannehill's the quarterback, I think they'll make do. Now they could end up trading him and starting Levis, so we'll see. But I don't know. I think Derrick has a chance to still have a fine season, especially at the price he's going now. Albeit he's not. I don't take a lot of him, but I definitely don't mind him at these prices. I mean, we got him 6 spots after ADP too.
All right. I don't want to unstack Joe Burrow here, and I definitely don't want a 3rd running back.
No.
So I'm pretty open here. Is there a wide receiver here you like maybe for set up a future stack?
Let's see. I'm okay with Mike Williams. I'm okay with. This is a little bit of a tough range. I think Mike Williams is my favorite one.
Okay.
Here, Drake London is interesting because I thought he really flashed last year, but that Atlanta offense now bringing in Bijan, you just got to worry about the pass volume. We're gonna get there.
Okay. Because, it definitely feels like every year the Chargers always disappoint. Not necessarily always in fantasy, but and then the other thing I always get scared with Mike Williams is how much time he always misses each year.
He's that's a fair criticism of him.
I don't know that you can predict that though.
No, I mean he has been injured quite a bit for sure. And like, you can't. I think it's like going into a draft trying to predict injuries, I think is wrong. I think it's something to take note of for sure. If it happens, a lot.
Mhm.
But I do think the Chargers are going to be a lot better
Okay.
this year. Bringing in Kellen Moore from Dallas, I think their offense is going to be a lot more fun
Okay.
and challenge down the field more. So I think Mike Williams has a chance, to pop off again this year. But he is injured a lot. But I'm kind of with you on not being able to predict it.
So fill me in here for the Chargers. They still have Mike Williams. They still have Keenan Allen. Austin Eckler, I think I'd seen was maybe traded bait, or he wanted to leave, but he's sort of sticking around as far as I understand. What else have they done on offense other than this, like, coaching changes?
So they also did draft a first-round wide receiver, Quentin Johnson, or Johnston, but he, people are kind of saying he's going to be the one to take over for Mike Williams. He's a bigger receiver, but he doesn't play the same as Mike Williams. He is good after the catch. He's not as good in contested catches as Mike Williams. So he's a big guy, but he doesn't play the same as Mike Williams. So I don't think he's a threat for his exact position. I think they will run a lot more 3 wide receiver sets, but I don't know. I just think that offense is just going to be better in general. And so I'm pretty excited about them.
So Drew pointing out here that we have Jay Julian taking Josh Allen and Joe Burrow together.
And we got the one spot, still has not picked a wide receiver. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, so they took Herbert without Mike Williams, and I'm guessing Keenan Allen won't make it back to them.
No.
Drake London seems to be hanging around still. I
Yeah,
guess
if he makes it back, I would be fine taking him.
Yeah, go the opposite sometimes. Zig when they zag, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little too extreme for me, but I am trying some different stuff this year as far as my builds and not getting too locked in on one thing.
Let's see. We got, where are we at with quarterbacks?
I think we're okay to keep pushing it.
Yeah. Where is Jackson? Spell Kelvin Ridley is. Oh yeah, he's going way earlier. Okay.
All right, we're back. Let's see.
Yep. I know you had talked about avoiding Seattle,
a little bit.
Tampa. They
have started to kind of settle in at ADP. I would probably take Chris Godwin.
Okay.
Here. This is a tough range. Like, a lot of these receivers have a lot of questions with their quarterbacks and situations like that. But I feel the best about Chris Godwin. And then there's always going to be trade potential with Tampa.
Okay.
Because, they're not expected to be very good.
This lineup is really on brand for my MLB brand of old guys.
Yeah.
Or quote unquote veterans.
We have collected some veterans.
So this is fitting in right well with my MLB strategies.
Get some fun guys coming up here.
So tight end here. Any of these guys towards the top of this list we should try and queue up that you think are good starting places at tight end?
Let's take a look at the board again real quick. I want to see what we're looking at. Trying to decide. I think it might actually be better to go another wide receiver. Well, I was going to say JSN.
Okay. I mean,
I think we're running out of stack potentials at this point.
What do you think about Brandon Ayuk here?
I like Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay. I guess that leads to the question of who's going to be the quarterback in San Francisco as we talk about the stack partners?
Yeah, I'm playing it as Brock Purdy right now. I think it's okay. Like as late as Lance is going now, if you want to sprinkle him in, I think you can. It's just tough. I mean, they couldn't have said like worse things about him this offseason. Like it's just been a terrible, terrible offseason. But I mean, again, Purdy could always go down. They did bring in Darnold, or Lance could get traded, but I've been playing it as Purdy's going to be the quarterback. I think some of the stuff about his recovery seems to be a little bit better. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't have any opinion in this matter. But I know in the past I've caught on to the industry's Trey Lance hype, so I'm trying to not do that necessarily this year, but somebody has to play, and there's a lot of weapons there to work with.
There is.
So.
Yeah, I don't think any of them. Like, I don't think you don't have to take the quarterback. If you just want to take 49ers because you believe in the offense, and you believe in the weapons, and kind of hedge against the quarterback situation, I think they're good as one-offs. I think you could even still stack them. Just the weapons without the quarterback, I think is fine to do as well. But yeah, it's a tough situation. I think it's going to be Purdy in the end. But I think it was Sam Darnold with Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle at the Warriors game last night. They were all hanging out. So who knows? Maybe it's Sam Darnold.
Drew's with you there on the using the pieces without the quarterback. Yeah, so we got George Pickens as number one wide receiver.
I like Pickens, but that is tough. I mean, this type of builds just historically just don't have a good advance rate when you wait this long on wide receiver.
Taking a couple of young guys there, the second year and the rookie, as is 1 and 2. Who else is still around in Pittsburgh? Actually, I don't even know. Deontay Johnson's still there.
I think he's a great pick right now.
Okay.
Deontay Johnson. He had the most targets last year in the history of NFL without catching a touchdown. He had 0 touchdowns. So that is worrisome. But regression is coming.
Yeah. I was just going to say, regression. That sounds like regression. Fanny's Dysfunctional saying, what is the upside of Purdy? Does he even have an upside?
He had multiple 30-point games last year, I'm pretty sure. I know he at least had one. Yeah, I think he's fine. I think the weapons can elevate him. And also, he's going to the 18th round, right? 17th, 18th round.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need him to do much. He's going to be your third quarterback on a team usually. Maybe your second if you took a Josh Allen or someone really early and then grab some San Francisco pieces. You'd probably be fine with just 2 with him. But at his price, I think he's a fine pick. Let's see.
All right, so we got Deshaun Watson hanging around here a little bit past ADP. He's the top of Pat's rankings here, left over.
Who's available at tight end?
Let's check it out.
I wouldn't mind doing Watson and then Njoku.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like Deshaun Watson, but
no.
I'm fine with
yeah, no, that's what's so tough, right? It's like
he was pretty bad last year.
He was.
Right?
He was. It's definitely a regression play again.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not fun clicking Deshaun Watson. I get it. I don't want to. If I was doing just my season-long league with friends, I wouldn't have him, right? But if I'm having a portfolio of hundreds of teams, I think Elijah Moore, yeah, he's kind of a good one to double stack.
Okay.
Even if we miss on Elijah Moore or Njoku gets sniped here, Cedric Tillman's there late. Donovan Peoples-Jones is late.
Okay.
You can even toss Jerome Ford on there. A lot of people are liking him as a pass-catching back. They didn't really bring in anything else at running back. So it's just Chubb and Ford.
Okay. I was going to say Kareem Hunt is gone, correct?
Yes.
I think I heard that. Okay. This is why I'm glad I have you tonight. looking at?
Well, technically, like he just hasn't been signed by anyone, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like he could end up there then if they have nothing else and they know him.
He was just really bad last year. Like
Okay.
I think that let's see, when is our next pick? Yeah, we should just take Njoku.
Okay. Yeah,
because he's the next tight end on the board.
Okay.
And so if someone, because this is like 10 picks before ADP, but I think he's worth it. He's one of my guys that I'm super in on this year.
Okay. Cool. I actually took him as my tight end 1 in my last draft. So the question I had then is he for you mostly a 2 tight end build or a 3 tight end build when he comes in as your first?
So it really just depends on how early we take the next one.
Okay.
It's close. Like he's one of my bets to have a really good season. Again, that's all dependent on if Watson plays any better, and things like that. But Njoku played great with Jacoby Brissett last year, so I'm in on him. I think we have pretty good roster allocation too, so far through 8 rounds. Like we got a couple of running backs early, but we quit. We stacked up the receivers. And we got one. We got our stack with our QB and our tight end. It's a bug flying around. Let's see.
All right, so let's check out. Let's see, spot 1 still coming up. Let's check the person on the end. Yeah, they are pretty weak in the wide receivers. The person that started Saquon and Eckler then went tight end, quarterback. So that seems a little bit weak to me.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson goes there at 92.
Seems like he's the hot.
He's Trey Lance this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm taking him. It's hard to not make that bet, to be honest. Just, I mean, Josh Allen was not good as a rookie, and I think he scored almost 20 fantasy points a game. Like, if you can run, then that's the ticket.
Okay. And yeah, I had looked at him when we took Watson. He was kind of hanging around there as that next QB group.
I was thinking about that too.
But I didn't know if it made sense to take him with Jonathan Taylor.
So I think in some scenarios, QB and running back is totally fine. I think in this one, when you're already questioning the pass volume from Richardson and the Colts offense in general, I'm not stacking those two up much. I wouldn't say. I don't think that's one I'm doing. Now, like Herbert and Eckler, that's totally fine. That's why we like Austin Eckler, is his pass catching.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think Jonathan Taylor can do more than he's given a chance to, but it's just with the concerns with Anthony Richardson and him needing to develop. I don't think that one makes too much sense compared to some.
All right, we're up in 4 here. Looks like we're starting to hit a group of running backs again.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking our third one here.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. And in terms of the distributing the positions, either well, Pat Freiermuth is gone, but that was interesting to me, maybe just taking him and then being done at tight end.
Yeah, I like Pat Freiermuth a lot.
Don't want to have anything to do there in Rodgers.
No. We have no Jets. We do not need Rodgers.
So this Rashad Bateman, or I guess if we wanted to go Vegas, to grab Jacoby Myers here and try to get Jimmy G later.
Oof, Elijah Moore got taken here at 103.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. We'll see what this person does. They've already got 3 running backs. I do think this is kind of. Will you click on running backs?
Yeah.
Let's see. I think this is kind of a mini tier. I'm kind of good with past rankings here of getting Charbonnet.
Okay, tell me about him. I know nothing.
So it was unfortunate his landing spot. He's in Seattle with Ken Walker, who showed a lot last year.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we said the same thing about Ken Walker last year with Rashad Penny. And they both had good weeks. Obviously, it took Penny going down to injury again.
Mm-hmm.
But listening to Pete Carroll's press conference, we saw he already talked about. Sorry. I'm trying to read what he said. What does he say on it?
You're getting all the rushing TDs if you think Richardson is going to be good if you combine those two guys.
I mean, that's not wrong. Like, I don't think you can't do it. It's just not preferable to me personally. B-Rob.
I don't know what that
to
means.
take. Brian Robinson went at 108
Oh,
there.
Got it. Okay, yeah, because
he's someone that the fantasy community hates, and he is not a sexy pick. Brian Robinson.
Jacoby Myers goes there. I was hoping we could maybe grab him. But yeah, as far as Commanders go, they kind of showed that they don't care for Antonio Gibson.
Right, exactly. Like that's what I think too. Like Brian Robinson was getting 20 carries a game when he finally got back in and got healthy. Like I think is a totally fine pick, especially on a half PPR site. He doesn't catch a lot of passes. You do worry about how many touchdowns the Commanders are actually going to score.
Mm-hmm.
But I think especially if you're doing kind of like a zero ERB and maybe you're taking 2 in this range as your first 2, I think it's fine for that.
Ooh, this is a.
I would.
I guess. What do you think about Bateman this year?
I think he's okay. I like Bateman, and we're doing a little bit too of an AFC North stack up as well, which I think is something that you can do. Going for the regular season prize is stacking up divisions that you think will be high scoring.
Okay.
So we do have Bateman goes with Cleveland. When we have Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry in the same division. I'm not sure how much, and then Devontae Adams and Mike Williams are in the same division. So we've got some division stacks in there. I think that's something that you can do.
Yeah, he got shot and still ended up being a workhorse. Yeah,
he did.
Brian
Robinson. It's just tough with Brian Robinson because he's not explosive. Like you're hoping he gets his 20 carries, grinds out 80 yards, and scores. Like that's what you're wanting from him. You're never going to get the 150, 180 yard game with 2 touchdowns. I mean, you could get 2 touchdowns, 2 goal lines, but you're hoping 14, 16 points at a best. He really doesn't have that 25, 30 point ceiling. But I think he's totally fine. Pick where he goes.
So as far as looking at this Cleveland, setting up a double Cleveland stack, do you think it's worth pushing Donovan Peoples-Jones? Try and fit him here soon. It looks like Pat has him a little bit lower than his ADP, maybe.
Yeah. I think we at least can wait 1 pick on him. It is tough. Like they drafted Tillman, I believe, in the 3rd round. And then they brought in Elijah Moore as well. They have Amari Cooper still there. So I don't think Donovan Peoples-Jones is like a must pick for us. I would like to get one of the 2.
Okay.
But if there's someone we like more, I'm totally fine with that. We do need to start thinking about our second QB.
Sure.
Let's see. We don't really have any like go-to stacks because, I mean, Jimmy or Baker we don't really want to do. I don't think. One of the ones I've been doing a lot of, if I miss, if I don't have an awesome stack set up, like Derek Carr, and then Juwan Johnson at tight end, I like a lot. They just traded out Adam Trotman to the Broncos.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so they just, they still have Taysom is the one thing, but Taysom isn't, competing for the same type of routes and stuff that Juwan Johnson is. And Juwan really showed a lot last year. He looked really good at tight end for New Orleans. And so Yeah, and he's all. Let's see, yeah, Juwan Johnson's there, Derek Carr, and then Rashid Shaheed is someone I've also been drafting. He was a rookie last year. He had four games over 10 points. He had a couple of like bigger games. He's kind of a deep threat
Okay.
guy. He didn't even play in the first 5 games. He's kind of like Marquez Valdes-Scantling was for the Packers. The guy you're praying catches the 75-yard touchdown, right?
That's not, you're not selling me on him. That
I know, but it's he's better in best ball, right?
hey, what's up? I'm gonna guess that's what you meant. Better in best ball, yeah.
Exactly.
Sure.
Like we don't have to choose to start him. The random 2 times a year he catches a 75-yard touchdown, we get those points. So I think that is kind of a late stack.
Okay. You don't have, as weird as this sounds, you don't have to sell me on Derek Carr.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think
know.
he's
I've
always
always
better
thought
than
he's
people.
been, yeah, exactly. I thought he's always been a little bit better. I mean, he doesn't seem to keep it together in big games necessarily, but
yeah, I think he's totally fine. And then
good at hitting his tight ends, which is
yeah,
sort of
I like it a lot. I think probably should just go and grab Carr here if we get him. Hopefully, we might get sniped, but
yeah. Well,
and then Juwan, and then Shaheed, Penn State legend Juwan Johnson. I'm reading. I think he also spent some time in Oregon, if I'm not mistaken.
I would believe you, whatever you say.
I'm still a big college person, so
yeah,
college football person.
If you want to go, want to know something I know even less about than basics of NFL is anything about college football.
That's fair. And what I like about Carr too, I think he's a good. Well, there's still a few more quarterbacks I like though. So if for some reason we don't get him, I think you can quit it too.
I think we will. Jay Julian has his 2.
Yeah. All right. Perfect.
So
got Carr.
All right. I'm happy with that. A couple of old, kind of bad quarterbacks to fit our the rest of our players. Oh, I guess we got a little bit.
We've got a rookie. Ayuk is only 25. Bateman's like 23. We're mixing it in.
There we go. That's my biggest problem drafting now is like without any knowing the college things. It's hard to click on a name I don't know.
Sure. Let's see. Scroll.
What is
the tight end position looking like? Is Juwan? Okay, there's still 4. Well, let's look though. We're on rankings though, not ADP. So Pat does have 2 guys with a lot higher ADPs above Juwan.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at 136. His ADP is 152. We could probably push it one more pick.
Yeah.
And either take a running back or receiver here.
And if we miss on him, we can always think about Taysom and another guy.
Unfortunately, Taysom did just go right here at 133. Oh. He's going a lot earlier.
Okay, well,
that's a tough click.
I'm gonna take Alec Pierce here.
Yeah,
as a.
We get some team correlation there with Jonathan Taylor. I like it.
Oh sure, yeah. He is a rookie that I liked a lot in.
He looked good last year.
I played him a lot in daily fantasy. Yeah. Because he seemed to put together good games.
And a lot of people like him as well, because right now where Anthony Richardson is at, the best thing he does is throw the deep ball, and that's a lot more of what Alec Pierce does versus like a Pittman and stuff like that. So, yeah, he's been a guy I picked a lot.
Person that took Richardson's probably cursing us out right now. Drew,
oh, no.
Did we just snipe you on?
Sorry.
Sorry. I'm not sorry, but sorry.
I like it though. Kendre Miller is someone I wish I would have picked a little bit more than New Orleans running back. He's getting a lot of steam. He's getting a lot of that. Sorry. It's not our bad. I mean, we wanted him, so we didn't realize it. But yeah, he's a rookie that's getting a lot of steam with like Alvin Kamara potentially being suspended and things like that. So, and he was going a lot later than he is right now, right when the contest dropped, and I didn't get much of him. But
yeah, because they also have Jamal Williams, who's like the opposite of Deontay Johnson in terms of touchdown.
Right. Yeah, touchdown aggression is going to hit him hard too.
which is too bad because I like Jamal Williams. He's an
He's
awesome guy.
fun.
I love to listen to him, his press conferences and everything. Back
Yeah,
from
like
him.
talking about Pokemon.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love it.
Exactly.
All right, let's see. A lot of quarterbacks still left, which I guess kind of makes sense. I think we're good with our 2 QBs. I think that's just the tier.
Oh,
Like
so Drew gets us back.
Oh, he did. He got us back.
That's all right.
Yeah, we still got some options to stack up Carr with. Which
Yes.
even if Kendrick Miller makes it back, it might not. Which he probably won't. But
okay, I was just gonna say we have 2 QBs, and you kind of said there that we're probably good there, at least for the most part now. Maybe we can revisit that. But we're still at 3 running backs, and we got 6 wide receivers. So this feels like a tight end or running back to me for distributing picks, but
yeah, we can see. We don't
want to grab DPJ here, but
yeah, I don't mind that. I would say we don't have to fully like fill it out exactly like that. I mean, it's not a bad idea. I was hoping. Let's see. I guess Kendrick Miller went. No, he's still there. I guess this is his ADP right here.
44. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Pat just had him way higher.
So yeah, if you're just tuning into this late, I am using the Legendary Upside rankings. I've decided to offload any of my thinking about actual football mostly to Pat for his not necessarily just because he won last year, but obviously he's been in this industry a long time and he's pretty well respected. And I don't know about you, but I also like to support the people that are going out on their own and trying to start up something on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's cool. Like I've been watching Ship Chasing and I've been in the Discords and stuff for years now. And like, yeah, he won 2 million, but yeah, it's still cool to like support regardless. Like I think it's awesome. Like we've been enjoying their free content for years, essentially, right? And that's how I look at it. You know, like I sub to, you know, I'm a member of like, Pete's YouTube or Ship Chasing, things like that is just more so just for the support, getting to enjoy the free content for years. That's the way I look at it as well.
Yeah. And I just remembered now I said about content. I do have in the description of this, I do have a link to your channel. So everybody go follow Hope over there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
For her late night NFL drafts.
Absolutely. Let's see what comes. Oh, Shaheed went. That's unfortunate. We might not end up with a Carr stack. I don't really know who from New Orleans is even left besides, Miller's there, but he's not a must. Pat chipped it, yeah. Let's see. E.T. Perry, Traquan. That's pretty rough.
Pretty rough. But that's all right. We made our bed and now we lie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it still blows my mind that Pat chipped it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And as far as like getting, if you are going to offload to somebody who's smarter than you in terms of like NFL analysis and stuff, let's go with the guy that's going to be sort of on his own, thinking on his own, as opposed to like a 3-letter acronym site that has a big group of people that are kind of working on the projections together. And
what site is that?
I don't know. One of their founders blocks me on Twitter. So
oh no. Literally all the Saints. Like we took Carr and just started a run of Saints players.
Hey, yeah. Thanks for
coming
in. Yeah, we're taking a little break from our usual MLB talk to talk some football.
And then Miller goes. I think we're just out on let's do Don Peoples-Jones.
Okay,
I think.
let's just
get our double, and you know what? We have Carr to fill in for a bye week, or maybe he goes off. And I would say in this scenario, our best winning scenario now is it would have to be Deshaun in week 17 because if Carr goes off, I'm sure a couple of his pass catchers had a great game as well. So, but I think just as far as advancing and getting out of this pod, like we can have Carr fill in, and not having his pass catcher won't hurt us as bad for that. It's just the high end outcome in the playoffs we probably don't want it to be Carr in week 17.
Sure, makes sense. Do you still feel comfortable with those two guys by themselves, or should we?
I think so. I think that's a fine pairing.
Okay. Yeah, my reaction seeing these guys is I would maybe go for a third late, but
so if we want to, we could take like a Stafford because he's still got the best source of knowledge.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
If you're feeling uncomfortable, I like both of these running backs here, and we do have 3. I'd probably go Singletary.
Okay, that's exactly what I was going to say.
I think Dameon Pierce is good and has got a good chance to have a good season. But Singletary's been fine for Buffalo, and he's good pass catcher, so I think he's good to have. Algier is tough with him bringing in Bijan. Okay. But I will say, I still think he's a fine pick because if Bijan goes down, Algier was legitimately really good last year. A lot of really good advanced numbers for him, and they're going to run the ball regardless. And so I do think, Singletary's a good pick. He's someone I didn't have as much of in the big board. I was kind of I don't know, I just wasn't that into him.
Right. But it's hard to be into anybody on Houston.
Right. Really. It is. It really is. And then, I don't know, there's some smart people, again, from just watching content and hearing different people's opinions. I love how we pretty much have cornered the AFC South at running back. We've got one from each team, except the Jaguars. But I don't know. There goes your boy, MVS, off the board.
My boy, yeah.
So are you from Wisconsin?
I am, yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Me and my friends went to a Packers game last year. It was our big group trip. Really? Yeah. One of them is a huge Packers fan, and they've done it before. The whole thing where you go into Milwaukee, stay in an Airbnb there, and then they have those real fun party buses that drive over to Green Bay on the day of the game. And so we all did that. We stayed in Milwaukee for probably 3 nights, 4 days. We did that whole thing. It was a good time. And then I went to Lambeau for the Packers-Patriots game last year.
Nice.
So that was cool.
I've only been there twice actually for a game. I've done the tour and stuff a few times as a kid. That my friend had his birthday party there, the Lambeau tour. Oh, yeah. I've only been a couple times. Obviously more of a baseball fan in general, but it's I don't really want to go out in the cold. Yeah. And it's not exactly easy to get tickets. Maybe it will be easier this year. Maybe.
The tickets definitely were not cheap, but it was an awesome trip, and we had a blast. The setup that I'm happy my friends have learned to do because they've done it 2 or 3 times now. Where that bus just drives you right up to the stadium, picks you up right there when the game's over. Has a tailgate and it was so cool. It was a great setup. I highly recommend doing it that way if anyone goes to a game there.
Was it a comfortable bus coming back? That could be after being out. I don't know if it was a cold game, but
it actually wasn't. Luckily, it was warm.
Okay.
It was early in the season. Nice. But it was cool. It was. You get there, everyone gets a wristband, and you meet at this bar. And then your wristband gets you drinks there. Then you get on the bus.
There's probably drinks on the bus.
Yeah, they're passing those big Yeti bag coolers of seltzers or beers or whatever. They're passing those, and then you get there and your wristband. You've already paid. Again, it's $100 a person to do this, and it's a great deal. You get there, they have a full tailgate with music and everything like that, and it was an awesome experience. Highly recommend.
That sounds like a Wisconsin.
And then the way back, people were playing all kinds of music, and just the Packers won in overtime, and which I'm actually a Patriots fan, so it wasn't that fun, but it was still like it was a blast. Like it was, yeah, highly recommend doing that.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Not a lot of people travel that far to come to Wisconsin. It's not
Yeah, no, it was
exactly
fun.
a tourist destination for people outside of the Midwest. A
No,
lot
it
of
was
people
cool.
in Chicago like to come up to Wisconsin.
That would make sense. So I think we got a few options here. Well, Algier. Let's see. Algiers. Well, he just went. God, I was gonna say we might should just take him. It was like 30 picks after where he goes.
Oh, okay. Let's see. We are at 2471.
So if we could do a
which-
couple different things, we click tight end real quick.
Yeah, I was eyeballing those guys.
I kind of like, yeah, I like Mayer or Everett here. They
Okay.
both are. We already have a pass catcher for both those teams, so we're already making a bet on those offenses being good. So I think that's something you could do. Either one. I think Mayer fits Jimmy a lot.
Okay.
And so I think that makes some sense. I think Everett is good too. Like Everett had a
What else
good
do they
season
have now this year?
at tight end.
Yeah, is it
It's just him. I mean Trey McKitty
Great, yeah.
is there. I always forget his name. The big guy. But yeah, I'm good with either one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd sort of rather take
Sure.
unless we're thinking about adding a third quarterback, or is he gone?
Did Jimmy already go as well? Wow. I think we're probably good just doing Everett.
Yeah, I'd rather take, unless we're going to stack him, I'd rather take the guy on the better offense.
Better off. Yeah, I agree.
Now is that a 2 tight end pairing, do you think?
I think tight end is the most replaceable position. But I don't know.
So Matt Wu-Tang here, what's your fan take on passing and as far as the running backs? I think I heard you talk the other night about that you're pretty high on Ramondre getting a lot of the work and less of the committee that we've seen in the past. So I'll let you take your New England soapbox here for a second.
I mean, I think the offense can be worse than last year with Matt Patricia. I mean, that was just terrible. And the price on them, I think is fair to take. Like you do Taekwon, you can do a Taekwon, Hunter Henry, which he goes, Mac Jones stack with your last 3 picks like this. I think is totally fine.
Okay. What do you think about Jeff Wilson here as our
I think
fifth
either
running
Jeff
back?
Wilson or Chuba, either one. I think Jeff Wilson probably more guaranteed touches potentially. I don't know. There's a kind of a 3-way committee. Chuba's a good handcuff to Miles Sanders, but either one is good. I think Jeff Wilson is a good pick.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Jeff Wilson here.
Better offense again.
Is he? You think who's the third there now this year? Then
So they drafted either second, third round Devon A. Chain. He's a rookie. He's already going at 115.
oh, okay.
But the thing is, he's tiny. You know, he bulked up for the combine and only got up to 188 pounds at running back. But he's a guy who can catch the ball in the backfield. He's really good in space. Like he's a good fit for the Dolphins.
Okay.
But I think it's kind of a 3-way committee, and we're taking the cheaper one. So I think that makes some sense. I do think A-Chain is going to have some big games. But also, like, I don't know. It's a tough split to be taking him where he goes at 115 for me. It's kind of tough. Like, A-Chain's fun. I mean, he ran a 4.32, but like rumors like in college he was running a 4.2.
That definitely fits with the speed there then.
Oh no, yeah, he's fun. And he actually at Texas A&M last year, like he was still like their lead back. Like he ran hard in the SEC. Like I just think the price on him right now where he's going in these drafts is tough because I don't know. I mean, they have 3 guys there that they all that they seem to like. Obviously, one of them could get cut or something, but I don't know.
To
It's
me,
tough for me to click the price of where A-Chain is.
To me, the biggest thing would be Mostert or Wilson getting hurt because neither of those guys really stay on the field the whole season much.
I've done some teams where I took both Mostert and Jeff Wilson. Which it's just what Pat did on his team, right? He took Mostert and Sony Michel, who were both on the Dolphins at the start of the season. He was like, you know what? I'm going to take both, and hopefully we get the one that hits. And, Sony Michel ended up cutting out of the league, but Mostert was on his winning Week 17 team. So
I had a lot of Sony Michel lineups last year.
he was so good for a couple of years there. But
yeah, I was mostly going off of what he did in what was he on the Rams the previous year? Yeah, he sort of took over that from that backfield towards the end of the year, if I'm remembering right.
He did. No, yeah, he had a really good run to that Super Bowl. So I think.
All right, I always have to look. I never remember. Okay, we got 2 picks left.
I think one of them is probably going to be a wide receiver.
Lots of opinions on A-Chain here.
He's tough. Like, again, he's probably going to have a couple games where he scores a 60-yard touchdown, but then he's going to have a lot of games where he gets like 5 touches and gets 20 yards. Maybe. I don't know. Like, it's a tough click for me. I think too a thing in this space, like people love they love the flashy like him.
Oh, but
and they hate the slower, the plotter guys like Brian Robinson. But on half PPR, like, I mean, no, pass catching is still super, super important. Don't think I'm not saying that. But I think sometimes people go too far with the new and exciting and flashy on this side, especially. Like, guys like Brian Robinson have value. They really do. Like, they're boring picks. Gus Edwards here is a boring pick, but I think he's totally fine. Like, a lot of people, I guarantee you click Abanikanda for the Jets. He's a rookie from Pittsburgh. Runs like a 4.2, 4.3. But I don't know, like there's like 4 running backs for the Jets right now. And so Breece Hall from last year who really looked good. He is coming off a torn ACL though, but Breece is.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing they have going for them is that Aaron Rodgers does rely on those guys, his running backs, quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was just an Aaron Jones thing and his talent level, but
so I'll see what we've got. I think we're fine with the 5 running backs we've got.
Okay.
We got 2 studs, and then we've got Charbonnet as like an upside rookie, and then 2 I think that room's fine. I think who do we take as our second tight end again? Oh, we took Everett.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting signed on all the New Orleans pieces of stuff. Let's see. Is this the top of the board? What is wide receiver? Let's see.
Oh, sorry. Wide receiver there.
There's a couple guys I like here. Okay. I actually don't think we need Tillman at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got DPJ and Joko. It feels like you're just spreading your thin exposure even thinner because there's not going to be a ton of. I don't see them scoring a lot through all of these guys, but maybe week to week it is. But I don't know. It doesn't jump out at me.
So I kind of like Jaden Reed, the Packers rookie.
Okay.
He went a lot higher than expected, but it seems like he's going to be their starting slot receiver, I believe. Yeah, he was. Lance time.
Oh, Lance is gone. Mr. 2QB takes Lance for his third.
Oh my goodness.
Josh Allen. That's something.
6 running back. I got Alvin Kamara on that team too.
Oof.
He's probably gonna be suspended.
All right. So I'm fine having a Packers rookie to cheer for.
Let's do it. Let's do Jaden Reed here.
All right.
I like him. I've seen him go a lot higher than this, to be honest with you. I thought I was getting a steal. I got him with my last pick on day 1. I've seen him go way higher than this, I feel like. I think he's going to be a guy who does rise up when we start getting some of the camp buzz.
Okay. So my inkling on this group is that we could go pretty much anywhere with this last pick.
It is. I
I don't.
think I know you clicked quarterback a lot. I feel like you were kind of feeling a third QB.
I
Um,
I was mostly just seeing who was there to see if it
I mean, we could do
matched.
Purdy with Ayuk. Get a little safety at quarterback. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know. You don't feel that we don't have to take Purdy or a third tight end. I think those two. I think we're pretty set at running back. To be honest, I think
yep.
we've made a big bet on Henry and JT.
Yeah, and I think this wide receiver group is pretty decent as far as
Yeah, as if Mike Williams is healthy, it's good for sure.
yeah.
And I think we got some upside guys with Pierce and DPJ. Bateman's a long like those three guys are all deep shot guys, and you got a rookie. Yeah, and then I believe a lot in Njoku. I think we're fine with two tight ends. We could take a third, or we could take a third QB, either one. And we could take Purdy, Baker are both stack candidates. Or any time. I mean, a third tight end would be fine.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the third quarterback here. I don't know if that's right or so. One thing I have a hard time doing in football compared to baseball is thinking about lineups as a group or drafts as a group. I find myself maybe fits with that is fitting together these guys for too much safety, putting this third quarterback on a team like this because I don't feel super confident about either of the other two. But
yeah,
draft like you're right is the phrase you want to say that
it is. But also, like Leone's had a lot of tweets about this and some in his manifesto where he thinks also like sometimes we can take that a little bit too far with the drafts like here. Right? I think he's talking about Darnell Washington. Pittsburgh. So he's a fun player. He slid in the draft. He's from University of Georgia. He's like 6'7", like 280. He's a huge tight end. He's actually athletic for that size. But they have Freiermuth, and I think if anything, they're gonna use him a lot blocking. But no, he's a fun player. Like he can catch the ball, but I was more excited about him before the draft, and then apparently it came out that he had like a foot injury, and that's why he slid to the third round because he was getting like some first round, then like top of second, where all the other tight ends went buzz.
Okay.
But yeah, he's I don't know.
It seems hard to fit in another tight end there. I don't know. That's maybe
I think he's gonna play, but I'm not sure how much fantasy value he'll have this year. Personally, like could he have a couple games where he's 6'7", like where he catches a couple touchdowns around the goal line or something? Yeah, like I'm sure he'll have a couple games where he scores 10 points or something like that. But I don't see him being a huge part of an offense that a lot of people are already questioning about with Kenny Pickett and stuff. But they should regress.
Yes, that was fun, Drew. Thanks for hopping in.
Enjoyed it. I like our team. It's pretty good.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Let's we're about to get kicked out here. Drew almost took Richardson naked. What do you think about that sort of build?
I think it's totally fine with someone like Richardson, or I even have a team where I didn't stack Daniel Jones. I wanted to, but it just didn't work out. And the only guys left were like some of those. Maybe I should have done an 18th rounder on like. They signed 1 million slot receivers. The Giants did, but Daniel Jones ran a lot last year, and I think he's going to do that again.
Let's see. I can't really look at it. That was a question I had for you or anybody in general was what's up with Daniel Jones's ADP? Just coming in after drafting last year, getting him really late.
Well, he scored 40 points in week 17. So that is a big part of it. He was one of the guys you needed in week 17. He ran a lot last year. Like he had some big games in the fantasy playoffs and in the regular season rushing. And he just rushed a lot more last year. His passing wasn't the best, but yeah, they added a lot around him. Like That's one of my. I get in an argument with one of my good friends who they still thinks Daniel Jones sucks, and he might, but he had nothing around him receiving wise last year. They brought in Darren Waller. They took Hyatt in the third round, and yeah, he went out. I mean, again, a lot. He scored 40 points, in week 17, so that's gonna stick out to a lot of people. Yes, it would. I mean, they signed like Sterling Shepard and Paris Campbell and who else? They brought someone else in, Jamison Crowder, and they still have Wandell Robinson. Like they have so many just little slot guys that I don't know. It's tough.
And
But I
Saquon,
may in Saquon and Darren Waller, who they traded for. So
okay,
yeah, so
that seems like a
that's
good
kind of
player.
what I've done a lot. I have 2 teams I think in BBM right now that are just Darren Waller, Daniel Jones, and that's the only stack I have with the Giants on them. And that's one you can get relatively like cheap. They kind of go in the same range, so you can kind of double tap them, or at least I think they do. But yeah, that's why he's going so high. Is he rushed a lot last year, which is the most valuable thing, really.
Right. All right. So we ended up with 3 quarterbacks: Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr, Brock Purdy. Running backs, 5 of them: Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, Zach Charbonnet. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I heard it say that way. Devin Singletary and Jeff Wilson. So one young guy among the old guys. Wide receivers, how much? 8 of them we ended up with: Devontae Adams, Mike Williams, Chris Godwin, Brandon Ayuk, Rashad Bateman, Alec Pierce, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Jaden Reed. And then 2 tight ends, David Njoku and Gerald Everett. So yeah, I feel pretty good about that team.
Yeah, I mean, the only unfortunate thing is we need Sean Watson to play well. Other than that, it's
lights out from there.
Yeah. But no, this is fun. I enjoyed this a lot.
Thank you for guiding me through my football knowledge. I appreciate you coming on here.
Absolutely.
So yeah, everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm sure we'll be doing football more, but hopefully we'll push Underdog for an MLB in-season tournament that I can start get back to talking about MLB, and maybe I don't know what we'll do, but appreciate the distraction this week for football. And thank you, Hope. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a good weekend.